hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host Iambranded.
That's in her circle, and I'm just fortunate enough to be able to interview this guy who has apparently taken the scene by storm as far as just a lot of love that I'm watching him get through not channels just through Toronto 93.5 FM, but other lanes as far as online, social media, different types of things. So this man's from Ontario, Toronto, and to me, I feel like this guy, if you check him out, City Black J is on Twitter. You can follow this guy and definitely show some support, and he'll give you all the rest of his social media information. But the single right here is one that's shooting up the charts apparently, and we're gonna talk to this guy not just about this single, but also about just the career. I'm trying to get to know this guy because apparently Jay Matthew has a talent and a passion for this music business, and we had this man live on Branded After Dark. Jay Matthew in the building. What's up, sir?
Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good, man. Man, welcome to the show, man. First off, man, I mean, let's just start with this single because, like I said, man, it's climbing up there, so a lot of people vibing with it. So, I mean, how do you feel about just the attention that you've been getting so far?
I mean, I feel it's been really positive. This has been my first single I've released, and the feedback has been great. So I hope that in the future there can be a lot more that I can bring to the public.
That's what's up. So tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. Just folks out in the States, and I know you're out there in Canada as well. Just for the folks that is just now tuned in, listening to you for the very first time, tell us a little bit more about you, man.
Okay, what's up, everyone? So my name goes by Jay Matthew. I'm a new R&B artist from Toronto, Ontario, which, as many of you know now, is becoming more popular in the industry. Drake and Tory Lanez are some artists that have been in Toronto and have blew up in the States and abroad. I recently finished my undergrad. That was at York University, and I've always had a passion for music. So it's always something that I've wanted to pursue, and I've always made a certain time to allocate towards my goal. And so as you can see, so we've been able to release this first single of my album, and I'm just looking forward to release a lot more music for the public. Positive music, of course, that everyone can relate to.
That's what's up. I definitely feel the vibe, especially just based on the fact that you came in with an open mind and you want to do a lot of things, not just on a positive level, but you want to showcase your talent. So, what influenced you as far as other musical artists that you kind of took a look at and you got inspired by?
So in my younger days, I was the two male artists that were important to me were R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, and the female artist was Aaliyah. As I got older, I started to open myself to older music like the 60s to 80s, and so I would say from that decade, those decades, some of the major influences, along with Michael Jackson, would be like Earth, Wind and Fire, Teddy Pendergrass, and I would say those two cool. have really been influential.
That's cool. When you say that 60 to the 80s, and it's funny because I was born in the 80s, so when you started saying late 70s, 80s, but when you start saying that's old music, I'm like, God, man, I gotta make sure I check myself and just realize that. You know what? And I was talking to a friend of mine about this too, because we were talking about 90s music, and 90s music is one where it's been like almost a couple of decades now, so that's kind of like out there as far as older music also. But during the 80s music, you mentioned what are some of the artists that you kind of, because 80s was to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because 80s was a decade of diversity. because hip-hop kind of came and took form, but also you still had light rock, you had heavy rock, you had R&B, you had a lot of different genres of music. Just it was blended in such a way where it was completely different than how it was in the '90s. So what did you take from that decade of music as far as the '80s?
Well, I especially like the instrumentals, like the use, as you're mentioning, like as we've gotten into more present time, we tend to use more of the technology or the sounds that technology can give us. Yeah, I mean, there's so many artists in the '80s that have had such great music. Like Marvin Gaye is one, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Smokey Robinson, as I mentioned, Teddy Pendergrass, and as you mentioned, like The Rock, Rick James was a big influence on that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, I'm really open to the music. I mean, there's still artists that I'm learning about to this day that in that decade specifically.
That's what's up. And to me, and Jay Matthews, our guest on Branded After Dark, brought to you by Nexxlegacy Max Radio, and I always thought it was like that decade was fun to me, like and then when it's funny how you go back and you mention certain artists, and you mention Rick James, and you mention Teddy P, and some of these classic artists that's been around for a while. I think sometimes you can go back and you can look at and you can kind of understand, like, wow, these people were actually doing it, and they probably weren't making a whole lot of money at that particular time. So you kind of figure that, money wasn't really the goal for. I mean, of course, everybody wants to make money and be famous and do this and do that. But I think at the time when you put in a lot of work, like you look back at them and you realize that, wow, they wasn't really making that much money back then too. So they had to do it because it was a passion that they had, right?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them have come from low income families as well. So just like you're saying, it was a lot harder in those days, especially to achieve goals in the Black community itself.
Yeah, no doubt. So when you take a look at you're getting started. You're looking at the history of music and you're looking at your place in it. So when you look at yourself and you kind of find a lane and you're kind of talking about, okay, well, you know what, this is my best shot to be able to showcase my talent. How do you see yourself fitting into a very crowded industry as we see it now in 2016?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, I'm really trying to focus on the development of my performance skills, my vocal skills, especially, and to try to bring innovative things to the music, my music, develop a creative sound that differentiates from the rest, and that makes my voice unique at the same time, so that when people hear me, they see something or hear something special.
I think, too, when it comes to, like, especially now with performances, I think when you have this day and age of music, there's downloads everywhere. There's, you can always get music from somewhere, from somebody at some point in time at 24/7. It's always a revolving door or a windmill of different types of ways you can be able to get music. But also performances is really key now, especially when you do shows. So, I mean, with you being a new artist, have you gotten gigs to the point where, like you just said earlier about, performance is the key and just making sure that you did it? Have you done shows? And if you have, what are some of the things you actually kind of take away from, connecting to the fans that way?
So I haven't done any shows yet. My first show is upcoming in Toronto, September 4th. Okay. The event is T-Dot Fest at Yonge and Dundas Square. So that's really going to be my first performance or professional performance, and there should be a few thousand people in that crowd. And so I've been working with my vocal coach, who also is giving me performance tips as well, to engage the audience in a calm manner, so that I'm not being too cocky or too shy, but so that I can connect with the audience while I'm performing my music.
So when you actually hit up your first performance, are you kind of like replaying it in your mind as far as how you're gonna come on stage, how you're gonna interact with the fan base? Do you kind of play it in your head before before you take the stage, or how does that anticipation work for you? Because it's coming soon, so you know how does that flow in your mind as you get ready to prepare for the first time?
Yeah, it actually goes through my mind every day. I try and get over the anxiety, trying to conquer that now, so that when I go on stage, I can handle that pressure. I've been practicing every day, just practicing some movements as well as the vocals, practicing with the piano and just some vocal warm-ups, just so that when I go on stage, it feels like it's natural. You know, so like it's kind of like regardless of, as if the audience is there, because I practice it so much, it'll just come out. Although I do respect the fact that presenting in front of an audience will bring a lot of, I guess, inner emotions that I will have to face once I'm there.
Okay. Jay Matthews, our guest, Branded After Dark, brought to you by Nexxlegacy and Max Radio, and with performances and got your first single, and it's available now. People can go check it out on YouTube, right? Or excuse me, iTunes, right?
Yeah, it's available for purchase on iTunes, as well as if you haven't seen the music video yet, there's a music video out. You can search Jay Matthew Can't Stop Thinking About You, and the music video will show up on YouTube.
No doubt. What are some of the things that you have seen that you are excited about as far as the anticipation of not just your single coming out and the video being out and the performance you're about to lock in, but also what are some of the things that you're really pumped up about in addition to all that as far as the business of doing music, but also what are some of the things that you find a challenge as far as the same deal, the business of music? Some of the highs and lows, I guess you could say, of this industry.
I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily say it'd be a challenge, but I would say that just working with a team is very important in the music industry. I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. I have a great team working with me and helping me to really make this goal. So I'm really thankful for that, and I'm looking forward to working with them in the future and new producers as well. I mean, some of the people I've worked with at the moment are Gray Star Studios, Team Autobots. Dwayne has been a great mixing and mastering engineer as well. So some other people, but I mean, I've really been thankful for the help I've been getting from my group, my team, and I'm thankful to have them as well.
No doubt. What are some of the challenges that you see just in general from what you look at right now? I know you're new to the game, but what are some of the challenges you see in this industry as well?
I would say probably content would be the main challenge, like being able to produce like a good amount of music efficiently, so that I can engage more of the public, and as well as I think it will help me develop my skills as well. My creative skills, which I think is important in this industry as well.
I think you mentioned something earlier about just kind of adding a good kind of element, clear content as far as music, not just the talent portion of it, but also just making sure that you have some nice responsible lyrics at the end of the day as far as what we're putting out. So look, when you look at when you look at this industry, and it's just, I think, Jay, you know this, man, it's a mess all over. It's just, especially R&B. Like R&B, remember back in the day, and you're a student of it, right? So you kind of know it's like, it's the R&B music, love making, the slow grind of it. It was enticing to a point, you know what I mean? And now it's just like, give it to me, give it all day, like, and it's just, sometimes you kind of have a disconnect because sometimes you don't want that. Like you want some of that music, especially R&B, where you just kind of you get in that mood and you feel a certain way, and it's just all the memorable songs, Jay, as you well know, I'm sure, is all the ones that just kind of like designed it where it's just like slow love making at different points in times of your life, and it was never really the fast joints, unless you want to go that rock edge with Rick James and Give It To Me, Baby. Like, that was about it. Like, other than that, like, everything else was just kind of slow, right? How do you feel about what here now versus what was.
So yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I do try and acknowledge the changes that have occurred in R&B music specifically. But at the same time, I am trying to slow the tempo down a bit, as you could see with Can't Stop. So I do want to try and bring back some of like that 80s, 70s music, but have it so that it fits the current music as well. It's like you were mentioning, like, I mean, when I was younger, they used to refer to that music as like love making or baby making music, whereas as you're mentioning music now, it's just harder to engage emotionally. The lyrics are different.
Right.
So there's just it's a different connection we have with the music today.
Because even with your song, I mean, the single's available. Can't Stop Thinking About You is available by Jay Matthews. Literally go to iTunes and grab it right now. And one thing about your song is, I mean, you had that. I mean, you described it thoroughly as far as, you painted a picture and you put it out there, and it wasn't a song or it wasn't a single where it's just going to hit you in the face and you're going to be like, oh, okay, you don't know how to recover. It was just like a slow layer of each brush that you painted, you know what I mean? So you kind of gave it a nice picture, which I think is solid. And again, I got to say, not too many people do it consistently as they once did. So you got to get credit from me on that level. But also, when you look at just in general as far as how the music business is, I mean, everything is fast-paced right now. So when you have a song like this, I think, like me, like I'm an old school head, so I can relate to because you kind of bring a new flavor to it. I mean, you threw some auto-tune in there, and, you kind of made it, new age, but also in a way you still kind of brought it back to the old flavor. So was that your design when you first started kind of putting music together too?
It's been on my mind, yeah. Like, I mean, at the same time, like I do listen to a lot of hip hop music. I mean, that's what's playing in clubs these days, and so it's very influential on society itself. So I mean, I feel that, like, I mean, if I was to give an example, I would say that Drake has been a strong influence on that merge of R&B and hip hop, especially the lyrical content. So I mean, he's one person I try and listen to and absorb his music because it is influential, and I feel I can gain from that by mixing some of his music with some of the content from the older days.
Okay. Respect that, definitely. Branded After Dark, brought to you by Nexxlegacy Max Radio. Jay Matthews here in the house, talking about his single, talking about his first performance, and what day and what location are you going to be in, and can people actually still get tickets to go see it, or is it a free showcase? What's going on with your first performance, sir?
Yeah, so this is actually free to the public. It's an all-day event. There'll be many performers. I believe it goes until 11 p.m. at night. We have one of our famous Toronto artists, J.D. Era, will be there. It's on September 4th. I will be performing around 6 p.m., so if you're able to make it, it would be great. I would really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to it as well.
Okay, that sounds legit. What about when it comes to other performances and things like that? Like, how can people contact you for shows? And you know what? Before you even answer that question, I got to say this too, because I've interviewed a lot of guests. Like I said earlier, shout out to Sasha, who set it up out there, not just in Toronto, but you guys seem to have like the best kind of showcases. Like, you guys will have like a free to the public showcases, and your turnout is pretty big, right?
Yes. Sasha's actually been really great with that organization and the T-Dot Fest. So she's helped put that together, and I'm looking really forward to it and working with her in the future as well. She's been a great asset.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys always had a good turnouts out there, and I think that's always cool. Like, I haven't been out that way. It's been like years since I've actually been to Canada, but just I've never witnessed or been a part of like these showcases, and every time I'm hearing like you guys talk about it, like in general, like there's always a packed crowd, or I see pictures and there's always a packed crowd, and people are always into it. And see, to me, that's always a good thing, especially when you have like certain showcases and you have like artists that's aspiring and that's thirsty. Like, you guys are trying to get out there not just to perform, but also to network with other people too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's important as well. So yeah, I mean, it would be great because I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the people that are going to be there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And as far as you continue to make that push, make sure that people check out his debut single, Can't Stop Thinking About You, which is on iTunes right now. You can go pick it up. You can hit him up on Twitter. If you go to twitter.com/CityBlackJ. And before I let you go, just a couple of quick questions as far as any updates that we can kind of say as far as coming soon with the future project, because you got your first single, so with your first single, there's got to be a follow-up. So will it be a follow-up single, or will it be a full-blown project that's coming out from J. Matthew?
Yeah, well, you can look forward to a full-blown project. We're actually going to be shooting our next video in about 2 weeks, so you guys can look forward to that by the end of the month. We're actually planning to debut that at T-Dot Fest. That'll be one of the 2 songs I'll be performing. Okay. So I'm hoping that some of you guys can show up to that and hear that second track, because I mean, a lot of people that have heard it so far are really into it. So I'm excited for that feedback as well, and to shoot the video.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And in closing, I got to throw out there as far as different collaborations that you would like to see yourself be aligned with as far as different types of artists. I know you mentioned Drake, so is that a person that you would love to collaborate with one day?
Yeah, I think that would be great to collaborate with Drake. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest artists right now, if not the biggest. And I mean, the work that he does is tremendous. I mean, he has a great team that help him, that work with him, and even to look at how he functions his business in the industry is a good example on how someone should be. Another person I would love to work with is Rihanna. I mean, I love her new album. That's probably my favorite album of hers.
Okay. That's what's up. Any, because I'm an old school guy. So any old school artists that you that you would look out and scout for as far as possible collaborations that would fit your style? Because this, being an artist, sometimes you may want to work with somebody, but they just may not fit your flow or your brand. You know what I mean? So that might be a different deal.
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, if we were saying old school, I wouldn't mind working with somebody like Lionel Richie or something. But I mean, at the same time, working with somebody like that may bring a whole different sound. So I mean, that may be something that would be creative. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. And in closing, real quick, I gotta say, sometimes, and you just said something, especially with a new artist that you would be open to, is just evolving. You take your sound and you may work with, like you said, a Lionel Richie. Or you may work with somebody, let's just go even deeper and go with the Paul McCartney, who has that Beatles legacy. Do something different that you may pull, hey, this might bring a little something different out of me. And to me, that's always the heartbeat of what music is all about, because you have evolution. I think if you can grow from, Can't Stop Thinking About You, which is a bomb single, definitely, and evolve from that and take it to another level as well. I think you can always just stretch that out. So it's good that you are open for that and to that, because most people, they're kind of closed in and they just want to say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do me, do my songs, and let it be. But, for the simple fact that, you may have a change of flow based on the inspiration as far as collaborators, that might be a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I love referring to these old guys. Not these old guys, but I mean, this music. It's very influential, even on the music today. And I mean, I mean, when I was younger, I used to be closed-minded to that, just listening to music in the present day. But I mean, I feel that it's important to open our horizons to these things, because as you're saying, the evolution of music is always occurring, and if we can help contribute to that, it's great.
Indeed. That's what's up, man. And in closing, man, go ahead and you got the floor. Not just your Canadian folks out there, but also the United States and all the people out here, man. So, you got the floor. Tell the people where they can find you, what's coming soon, and as far as social media stuff, give all the information so we can all get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if anyone wants to follow me on my Instagram is its.j.matthew, and my Twitter is cityblackj. Just a quick shout out to Greystar Studios for helping me make this happen. Team Autobots, Dwayne, Maddie Styles, Ajit, and Sasha, again. All of you have been great. If anyone wants to contact me, feel free to contact me at greystarstudios@rogers.com if you're looking for any performances or just any collaborations or anything of that sort, because I'm always open to that stuff, and I always look forward to meeting and working with new people. Again, my performance is on September 4th at T-Dot Fest. If you guys can make it, it would be great. As you mentioned earlier, like LA and the U.S. and abroad is listening, so I mean it's really important that I get your guys' feedback as well. Being a Canadian artist, to hear how my music is doing abroad is really important to me. So you guys mean a lot to me, and I hope that you guys will stay tuned to my future music as well. And that's pretty much it. Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I gotta say before I let you go that I know you mentioned that you're a Canadian artist. Hey man, even though I'm in the States and you're up there, like, you're an artist to me, and I love the fact that you are a young artist, continue to push your grind and do your thing and stuff like that, and your single's cool, and just keep evolving from that. And people out there that just want to hit up Jay Matthews, do all that social media stuff, and it's always good to hear young, talented people out there trying to be able to just go further and do more. And the fact that, that you never mention anything about fame makes me think that you're going to do big things because, how it is sometimes, you get people, I want to do music because I want to be rich and famous and I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. And you know what, fame to me is what it is. It's like, it's going to eventually happen to the people who humble themselves that want to grow the business. Like, and I think that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. If you're willing to grow, you're going to get that anyways. You're going to be able to hold that down. And the more you do, because you love it, the better off you're going to be. So I think that's a good look, man. So just keep that mindset as you continue to push on in this business, because I know it could be super grind, but just keep doing your thing, man. I'm very impressed by by this interview, because this is the first time I talked to you, man. So we got to stay connected on social media, and you got to come back here and tear it down, especially when you get to new projects and stuff like that. So just make sure you come back to this one.
For sure, man. Thank you again for having me. It means a lot. I appreciate it,
man. No problem. Hey, follow this guy on Twitter, because I did.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.